Decentralization, it's like the universal glue or the universal solvent in our space. It's a universal objective, and yet it's a universal solution. And I don't know which is which. Is it something that's going to guide us, or is it something that is an end in itself?
Decentralization isn't about Web 2, it's not about Web 3, we even throw Web 5 in the mix. Decentralization, in the space where I am, is delivering critical infrastructure that's been missing. And we have been missing this infrastructure for decades, and that is about identity. But I'm going to take it one step further. It's not about identity in the driver's license sense of name, birth date, just PII. It's identity in the sense of any data endpoint. And how do we create trust in being able to exchange authoritative data that can be verified from the source, but do so in a privacy-preserving way that doesn't include correlation. So how do you do all that? Because we haven't been able to do it for so long. It's gotten us into the situation we're at right now. Decentralization. That is the critical infrastructure that we're building and delivering today.
So that blockchain technology and all the technology that's been built on top of it, forget the cryptocurrencies piece. Yeah. Its actual infrastructure, I think, is a game changer, and it's different. It's qualitatively different, and it will allow us to do things that, for example, move more into data-centric enterprise world that all of us dream about. I think one of the promises of Web3 is that I own my own data, and I control who sees it and who doesn't.
And I think decentralized identity is just a recognition that in the digital world, we need an interoperable ecosystem where multiple parties can share verified information, that I in the middle can be in control of who gets, what gets shared with whom. So we can just go back to identity, which kind of works well in the physical world, and make that work digitally.
Companies, enterprises, organizations don't call wanting identity or decentralized identity solutions. No one says, give me some of that decentralized identity. What are they calling about? They're calling usually because they're having issues with fraud, or they're having issues of inefficiency or cost as a result of that.
These are your customers calling you for help?
Yes. Yep. But what it is they don't see that it's actually identity underpinning the problem around fraud or around inefficiency. So getting out to what is that root of trust? What is that root of the data? The root of the data can be anything, because trust is in the eye of the beholder. So as long as you can present that information, that data, in the form of a credential, and the verifier trusts that root of that identity, then that is what we need to move forward. And
we are way overcomplicating this. I think even having a discussion about what should be decentralized and what should not means we've lost sight of what we're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. And I think Heather was starting to hit at some of this. We need a way that we can exchange information on the internet without relying on any one party to do it for us. We need a way for consumers to have transparency and control. I don't even think ownership is such a weird term to me. And then we need a way for there to be an interoperable system that everybody can participate in. And if you solve those three things, some things may be centralized, some things may not. The internet is, decentralized enough in my view. Anybody can stand up a website. People can access it through infrastructure. Gone are the days where I need 5 web browsers to go to 5 different websites. We just need to recreate identity within that same vein.
Because you have a lot of propagation of untrue information or misinformation, whatever you want to call it, and if we want to moderate and take down the posts that are incorrect or take down the posts that call to violence, so that's centralization, right? That's putting somebody in the middle who makes a judgment what's appropriate and what's not. That's kind of a definition of centralization. So that needs to stay, because if you remove that, we've all seen that people on the internet behave to lowest common denominator quite often, and hopes that people are going to behave well if they're all together in the same group, have been proven many times, and a lot of times on the internet that's actually, it goes down, it spirals down, not up. So that's where we don't want to remove.
I think we mix up sometimes creating a decentralized infrastructure to facilitate identity with actually trying to make the decisions of what is good identity.
Correct.
And they're both important issues, but when we conflate the two,
yes,
I think we make things harder.
I agree with that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important we talk as if this is the future, but this decentralized ecosystem infrastructure, it's available today. Companies are building with it. They are deploying solutions into commercial production. If your organization is not already building and looking at proof of values around this infrastructure, you're behind. Because organizations across every industry, whether that is travel, hospitality, financial services, energy, IoT, even federated identity providers, are already deploying and moving to these infrastructures now.